G'day everyone, this is RisingFunGaming and welcome finally to the Hyper Deviljho Showdown. This is a really difficult quest and I'm not ashamed to admit that I had to restart this one many times. And yes, we're using past tense here because you're hearing me in post. The commentary for the first time in the series is actually going to be post commentary because this is one of those quests. One of those quests that demands all my attention and there's no way that I can commentate without going insane with the constant restarts and outtakes and screw ups. So hopefully we can provide just as an engaging experience for you all here. And yeah, this is the Hyper Deviljho, done pretty late at night with frayed nerves. But we did get through with a pretty solid run in the end, and I'm very, very happy for it. Now, as I said, I really like using Adept Longsword, and we are using that indeed today. We're again set out with the same set that we used last time. Of course, that's the skeletal set from Nikakos. Full set of that. We've got a nice talisman giving us attack up small and 5 points to razor sharp as well. So we've ended up getting not only the resuscitate, resentment, health recovery down 2, but we're also getting attack up small and razor sharp with this set. Now, as I said, this is a really difficult quest, and I think if you guys are going to solo it, you should definitely consider taking the Palicos with you, as I have here, and indeed for all of the Deviljho fights in this series. This fella, of course, as he's a hyper monster, has more health than the vanilla version of Deviljho, and he hits really hard around about those red and black aura parts of his body. He definitely destroys lots of online lobbies by getting really quick carts out of the hunters involved. And that's why it took me a while to learn, because this isn't actually the first time that I've had to solo him for YouTube, it's the second time. It's taken me a long time to learn that if you've lost about 40 health or more with this guy, with almost all Blade Master armor sets, that's too much health lost. You have to top yourself up. And that's kind of the that's the creed we had going into this particular run after kind of screwing it up many times at the start. I had so many false starts because I don't know, I just get dumb and greedy and a little bit frustrated with not getting lots of damage out straight away, but we did learn our lesson in the end. So you'll see me, for the most part, trying my very best to keep on top of the healing. What we're doing, instead of making cuts in between the areas and stuff like that, we're just going to speed it up. I like to keep proof that this is one continual run going on here. So that's a nice bit of editing we did in post there. Alright, again, just like the last video, we're using the Rajang Longsword. I really love it for Deviljho for the massive amount of electric element on it. It's about 40, I believe. And of course, as soon as we get Dragon Element or Dragon Blight on us, we want to get rid of it quick smart so that we can maintain that element. Now, I have a lot of fun working out when to follow up with your Adept style longsword attacks. It's pretty easy to run back in at the monster after doing it and doing the slash like this, but making up your mind whether to evade through rolling forward or rolling to the side, or indeed chaining it into a Sakura slash, as you'll see me do from time to time. I've done it at least once in this run already, as you might have taken notice of. But yeah, it's something that's always going through my mind in this quest. It's an extremely nice motion value getting the final slash for that Adept follow-up, but you're always putting yourself in a vulnerable position potentially, especially with Deviljho, and especially when he's hyper. It always seems to be a risk when you're not 100% confident you know what moves he's going to do. I think only the elite players of the game would be able to predict the best time to do it in every single case. Interestingly, you might also have paid attention to the fact that for Deviljho videos, and I get this question occasionally when I publish them on YouTube, the BGM for them, the Deviljho BGM and also the Gen Moran theme in Monster Hunter, there's a third-party copyright on those claimed by Merlin and Sony, I believe. So whenever I remember to mute the in-game music, I'll always have some sort of royalty-free music going in the background, and classical usually seems to be the case. We've got a Beethoven song this time. I think it's the Ninth Symphony. If I'm wrong, I'll put that information in the details down below under the video. Pretty sure it's Ninth Symphony. And I think it's really good. It sort of works with the Deviljho fights. It's really, really funny. Sometimes I edit them so that a lot of the major moments sync up with the actions on screen. That's what I did for the last Hyper Deviljho video on YouTube, which had no commentary. As part of the Monsters series, I purposely didn't have commentary on those. Be interesting to know what you guys think of that series if you followed all or part of it. Sometimes I like to make videos. That's a gecko in the background. Gecko making some cute sounds. I love geckos in Australia. They're beautiful. Yeah, I'd like to know feedback about those sorts of videos, because I know some people do appreciate seeing those sorts of fights without someone speaking over them and things like that. That's obviously not the goal and direction for this series, the playthrough, where we try to engage with you guys and also try to share any wisdom that I have, and indeed try to gain some wisdom from you guys when I ask some questions in these playthroughs. But yeah, some people really enjoy not having the commentary over it, and for that particular series I liked to, as a directorial decision, try to show off the monsters and all of their moves. It wasn't really about playing very well, although sometimes I did have some glimmers of awesome. But it was all about showing off what the monsters can do without someone blabbing over the top of it. This sort of quest, you'll probably also notice, and I'll do it again from time to time. Sometimes you just need to peace out. Literally, the heart is really, really thumping for a lot of this. It's hard to be calm when you've got to solo such a difficult fight, when you're not, you know, one of the 1 or 2% of players that are just super awesome at this game. Not to say that I'm bad, but I feel like I'm more like most people that play the game in terms of skill. This was a fairly good run for me. There's quite a few derpy moments like that one. I don't know why I chose to do the second overhead slash. I think I got sort of mixed up after the unintentional jump down from the ledge. Kind of screwed me up there. And I should be getting rid of my Dragon Blight here. Yep, I definitely do so. Bit of a risk because he could have charged me right down there. You're doing the Joe Waltz. So yeah, if you guys want to try this fella for yourself, and I guess some of the other high difficult hyper monsters like the Rathian and Rathalos, and indeed the Rajang, I'd always suggest, if it's going to take you, you know, 15 plus minutes, as it did for me for this quest, I think it took me about 22, 23. I definitely suggest having a little peace out from time to time, going outside of the area and or pausing the game. Sometimes you just need that mental holiday, and it definitely helped for me to just get the heck out of there and refresh my adamant and might seeds and things like that. This guy moves areas quite a lot, so it gave us that opportunity to sort of cool down a little bit, sharpen our weapon and whatnot. So at this point we're about just under halfway through the fight. does take me quite the while, as I said before, about 22-23 minutes. And I think on reflection there's definitely a bad decision that I made in terms of my gear going in. The skills, as I said, I have Razor Sharp Attack up small, Resentment Resuscitate, and Health Recovery Speed down +2. And of those skills, we've got one that's basically completely useless, and that's Resuscitate. And the reason is, though I can get Dragon Blight and take advantage of the 20 extra attack I get with a status ailment, I lose my element. So I obviously never want to be in Dragon Element. Now, I've used this set for the other two Joes that we fought, Plain and Savage, and we've utilized Resuscitate through the D down. The thing about hyper monsters is, and you guys might not realize this, is they don't have a proper exhausted state. And indeed, this is very, very significant for Deviljho, because he is only able to drool and inflict you with the defense down if he's exhausted. So that was one of the biggest regrets and oversights I had going into this. Probably would have been better off using a stronger build. But, you know, sometimes you really feel in a set. And I really enjoyed rocking the fashion set. I've really grown to like this one. It's sort of my flavour of the month. It's pretty cool. So of course, as I alluded to before, this guy is the hyper version, and he's, for the most part, it seems, keeping the aura around his leg and his mouth, which really, really sucks, because he's obviously going to be doing lots of stamps. And if he does it with the left leg, it's almost a one-shot, so that's why I'm always healing. I'm glad to see that I definitely stuck with keeping my health topped up. Now, having played Monster Hunter for a long time, and having played Longsword for almost 950 uses at this point in time, you'd think I'd be starting to get like really, really good at not getting hit, but I guess that's another regrettable thing as well. I do get hit a lot, and we do go through lots of curatives in this run. I won't spoil how many I do go through. You'll see. But I guess I don't really take much time to re-watch my runs, because it's just I don't really have enough time to do it. But I guess today's different because we have to do the commentary and post, and it's really surprising. I realise that I should do this more often, because it's really, really interesting to see what I do good and what I do not. I think I'm pretty good at positioning myself and deciding which way I want to roll with my Adept evades. I'm really, really enjoying watching how my brain was working, especially it was such a late night battle. But yeah, I think I'm much more disciplined in how to use the longsword compared to the first Hyper Deviljho run we did for YouTube. I was very, very addicted to the straight up and down strokes. So, you know, you've got the Unsheath XX where you do the overhead twice, then the stab, and then you do the upwards hit. It's sort of a combo that I chained infinitely in those fights, and it's a good combo. It's really, really decent, well, quite decent motion values on the overhead swings, and obviously gets you a lot of height. So it's very, very useful against Deviljho. You're trying to get that blade right up there to reach his head or his chest, that sort of thing. But one thing that it took me a while to realise is, and actually this was thanks to comments in the comments on my YouTube videos. By the way, yeah, never feel never feel like you're pissing me off by trying to backseat, by telling me, you know, a lot of you main weapons and you see some stuff that I'm not doing well enough or I'm doing completely wrong. If you've got tips like that, definitely type them in. I love reading them. They're very useful. And yeah, one thing that people were telling me ages ago was you shouldn't be using your spirit slashes unless your spirit gauge is flashing. We're much better at that these days now that I understand it, and it's good to have those tips, because it's nice to know how to be most effective with any one given weapon, so you're not spending so much time in hunts being more effective. The other thing that really differs in my longsword play compared to the aforementioned Hyper Joe video I did ages ago is when, well, just in general, I use spirit slashes much more often. Pretty much as soon as I've got that gauge flashing and it makes sense to start a spirit combo, I'll try to do it, because again, we're looking to be more efficient, and I didn't realize you can be basically more efficient if you're doing nice spirit slash combos with that flashing gauge. So that's definitely been put back into my game. One thing that I really adore about pro players is how they don't need evasion armor skills or Adept necessarily to fight Deviljhos or indeed big brute wyverns. I always find it extremely difficult to position myself and get consistent hits on the head against your Deviljhos and stuff like that, and that's kind of why I love Savage Joe compared to normal Joe, because I can stick to the chest and be really, really effective. As I had a bit of a spiel about before, Deviljho's weak spots change a little bit. Like, where you need to focus when he's not enraged is the head, but when he is enraged it's the chest. And that's my bread and butter for my skill level at the moment, sticking around the underneath area. And we've got Adept evades and or evasion depending on what set I'm running, to get me out of danger when he makes sudden movements and sudden attack animations, because it's a hard box to escape otherwise if you're not got those skills and or Adept style when you're an intermediate player and below. That was sick. I really enjoyed that, and that's another bit of good play by me that I've been able to do through learning the monster. When you break the face and do that backwards flinch, I know that he's going to be flinched very, very briefly, and he's actually going to counter up by tossing himself forward in an attack animation, and you to roll away from that. That's a huge tip for people that aren't used to this monster. In pretty much every other monster that you fight, you've learnt that, ooh, I've broken something and it's flinched, so I get a good grace period where I can kind of follow up, or I can kind of relax a little bit because he's reeling. He's not going to be attacking me anytime soon. But good old Deviljho, they did something interesting for him, and I adore that bit of monster design. It's really, really good. I don't know if he's been like that since 3rd gen. He probably has been, but I don't know why I only started really realising that he does that from Monster Hunter Cross onwards. That was really frustrating. Knocking me off the freaking ledge. But again, we get our peace out moment, we get our mental holiday. Especially long one, because he changed areas again. So at this point we've used quite a lot of healing potions and stuff. And the cats every now and then have chimed in and helped out with that sort of stuff. It took them ages to start making traps. And The reason for that must have been they spent a lot of their time incapacitated, which is a shame. It almost makes you tempted to bring not only life powders but life powders and combines and just treating it like a multiplayer hunt, continuously healing them, because if they're incapacitated they're not going to be of use to you. They're not going to be charging up their support art gauge to get those traps out. So I was definitely missing that. Deviljho was wrecking them to bits. He really starts to be a chicken at this point though. And like I've played lots of Monster Hunter. I'm used to long hunts. Like I've done 20, 30, 40 minute hunts before. But the fatigue that you experience when the fights are so intense, or at least so intense for your skill level, it really magnifies how tired you become. And I think I remember at this point I'm just like, please let it be over. And I guess this is probably the part where things kind of start to fall apart a little bit. We're really, really low on curative items at this point. I'm pretty sure I've just got a max pot to my name, unless I combine again. There's only about 2 or 3 minutes left in the hunt, so yeah, around about this point we were starting to clench it a little. Both cats are incapacitated. And yeah, I was kind of sick of his shit. I was sick of him being up there. I was just like, I'm not coming to meet you. You have to come over here. You have to come over here where it's a little bit more flat and you can't knock me out of the area. Not the best Sakura slash, but it achieved what it had to for the red gauge refresh. I was disappointed to miss that, surely. And I was disappointed to miss that as well, but what can you do? He flinched. Yeah, decided not to do that one. And oh yeah, we're really low on health. I think I was trying to get away with as much as possible by probably sheath and go for the max pot here, because as I know, I'm definitely one-shot territory here. So here's like super clench. I don't know how much longer it's going to take to kill this motherfucker, and I've got no more curatives. Well, technically I do if I run back to the home area and I get some of the potions and stuff from the supply drop, but I didn't want to do that. I really didn't want to do that. It's good to see the cats back. First thing they do, they put down a trap, and I'm like, hell yeah, this is it. This is done. And he definitely complies, falls in there, and it's over. And I do a few emotes here, don't I? Yeah. I was very, very happy RF Gina at that point. Well, there we go. Probably the hardest quest we've done in the playthrough so far, and I dare say there's at least 3 others that will be as hard, so I look forward to bringing those to you in the near future. We're going to be continuing on with Astalos. The Astalos series of videos up next. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching as always, and we'll catch you guys next time.